Alrighty, boy. Now I hadn't seen this series in a long time. I'm not. And my partner's one that decided to put it on, and I'm not sure if that was because of the more recent version, but taking a look at the OG version of Trigun. Now, whether or not this has, we watched it because of then Trigun Stampede. I don't know, but we watched it. Now I'd seen this one years ago. We used to have kind of an anime weekly club that we'd go watch with our friends. Went to it for years running. We did this for, I'd say, almost 10 years. So we watched a lot of things, and Trigun was one that we watched. This one's circa 98. And realizing that while I was rewatching it made me feel old. Alright, so Trigun. It's set on this post-apocalyptic Western-style planet where gunmen pretty much rule the day, and our story follows two insurance ladies that are trying to follow after the most dangerous man on the planet to try to monitor him to essentially keep insurance costs down. It's a premise that you don't see every day. Anyway, they at first don't realize the guy that they meet is actually Vash the Stampede, the legendary outlaw, because he's so goofy and a pacifist and a coward. So they don't see that until they actually see him in action, and all these coincidences just seem to line up, and they're sure whether he's causing them or if he's just lucky. But when he does seem to take things seriously, he's pretty much unstoppable. However, he never seems to actually mean to cause all the harm he does. Usually it's people trying to get him and his bounty that cause a lot of the devastation around him. So, it's pretty much very episodic at first as they just tag along with him, but it's clear that he's after one man in particular. A man who's hired a lot of assassins, who seems to have an equal interest in Vash. Partway they meet up with the wandering priest, Wolfwood, who gets kind of a off-again, on-again bromance with Vash. Okay, so it's a Western sci-fi, kind of in the vein of almost like Cowboy Bebop, but leaning more heavily to the Western side of the sci-fi. So, it's a good series. It does hold up pretty well. Some of the 90s anime tropes are definitely there in full force, but they're not as over the top as some earlier series. So overall, the series does work pretty well. The music definitely is still pretty good for it. It's one of those things where, like, an older anime series, I keep saying that, it's hard to review, like, a full series, because you don't want to give up an entire plot line for it, yet you want to give enough to go on. And comedy series is in particular. Now, this is an action comedy, for the most part. Like, there's some emotional stakes here or there, but usually the series itself is usually so goofy that even when it's trying to be emotional, it doesn't always land as hard as I think it would like it to. And so, like, when you're seeing, like, Vash's past, it is tragic, but when they were just goofing off a few minutes before, and with how unserious Vash usually takes things, it is hard to let it completely sink in. That said, it is an anime classic for a reason. I can definitely see why there was interest in rebooting the series. This one did get a movie like 10 years after it concluded, and then now there's a new a modern version that is being made with the characters kind of redesigned. So I'd like to take a look at that at some point, but for me, the OG one just has that place in my heart. MacGuffins. It's a 7 MacGuffin. Like, I don't put it on the greatest ones, but it's a comfort series. So, we'll go with that. Alrighty, boy. See you soon.